Hello and welcome back to my channel. This was for the Lawn Fanatics Challenge inspired by, and this card was inspired by All by Gracie on Instagram. So I have my outside in stitched heart. I have die cut the largest one of those. And now I have my 3 colors of ink that I'm going to be ink blending, which is Peach Fuzz, Ballet Slippers, and Wild Rose. The color combination comes straight from the card I was inspired by. I'm starting with Peach Fuzz, and I'm just ink blending kind of a circle in the center of the heart. And then I'm going to go in with my Ballet Slippers, and this is a very pale ink, so it does take a little bit of layering. And I'm just trying to get a somewhat decent blend between these 2 colors. Once I'm fairly satisfied with that, I'm going to go in with the Wild Rose, and I'm going to take that just on the outside edges of the heart. Next up, I have some cranberry ink, and I am going to do a little bit of splatter with this ink. This was another thing that was on Grace's card that I thought was really cute, which, you know, I like splatter anyway, so I figured I'd add some to this. Now I have Lacy Heart Stackables, and I have die cut the largest one of those, and I'm taking that same cranberry ink and I'm just going to ink this up. Now here you can see that the lacy outline is perfect for the outside and stitched heart. I love how those go together. And I'm going to take my new to me but old stamp set, which is the Let's Roll stamp set. And I have the small flower from it, and I'm stamping it kind of randomly across my center heart with cranberry ink. For my images today, I'm using Year 8, which is the Fortune Cookie, Year 13, which is Dim Sum, which is a new stamp set. Let's Roll. I bought that specifically to go with the dim sum. And then I have the Stitched Teacup die set. Now, if the coloring part's not for you, you can skip ahead to 6 minutes and 12 seconds. And I will see you then. For everybody else, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. I did really simple coloring on a lot of these things. I only did 2 colors, which is, you know, not super common for me because I always think more color is better somehow. I guess it just gives a better depth or whatever. But a lot of these I just use 2 colors because they're tiny. A lot of them are fairly pale things anyway. Like this Fortune Cookie, it doesn't need to be super dark. So I just picked some of the lighter colors that I had. I wanted the Fortune Cookie to look, cannot talk. Surprise, right? English. It's hard sometimes. I wanted the Fortune Cookie to look a little bit more golden than the dim sum. And I did add a little bit of dotted texture around the edges. I don't know if it really comes through exactly. I think I need to look at Fortune Cookies a little bit more. Maybe one day I'll get good at coloring this particular stamp, but I haven't really used it very much. Now moving on, I have the little saucer from the Stitched Teacup die set, and I just have a couple of reds that I wanted to use. And again, keeping this really simple. A lot of the shading that I do, you're not even going to see because once you put the dumplings up there, like it covers up so much space. It's honestly probably not the most necessary thing. Moving on to my little soy sauce bottle. For the lid, I'm actually going to use 3 markers this time. And the reason I did my saucer with the red shades is because I wanted the lid on the soy sauce to be red, because when I think of a soy sauce bottle, I think of the red lid soy sauce bottle. So I couldn't get that out of my head. So that's why that one's red. I'm also doing 3 colors for the soy sauce. I thought about trying to be creative here and, you know, do something extra with it, and ultimately I just kept the outside edges a little bit lighter and the center a little bit lighter. this is something I probably need to practice too, coloring liquids inside of a glass bottle. Yeah, glass kind of eludes me, so I just use a little bit of cool grays to add a little bit of shadow inside the bottle. I don't know if that's super accurate, but anyway. The chopsticks, I am coloring with 2 of the lightest shades of brown that I used for the soy sauce because I wanted to keep my color palette fairly limited. Hello again to whoever skipped the coloring. Nice to see you. I have the largest of the large stitched rectangle stackables dies that I have cut out. I am inking it up with some vintage photo distress oxide, keeping it pretty light. I'm going to make this look like a wooden panel background. And I have an embossing folder. This sheet will not completely fit in there. So, especially not with the direction I wanted the wood grain to go. So I'm just going to cut this into roughly even sized panels. They're not all exactly even. I don't know the name of this particular embossing folder. I think I got it off of Amazon or something in a pack. But I just ran that through, and now I have all my little pieces. I have to put them back together, so I did what I could to keep them in order, because, well, that seemed like it would be terrible if I forgot the order. I don't think it would look very good. And I have washi taped them together so that I could work with it a little better. And I know you just see me there. I had 3 strips of adhesive on the back, and I only took the backing off of one. I added some liquid glue for some wiggle room, and then I placed it down before removing the other 2 strips. That way I could, ensure I had a better placement, because I'm really bad at keeping things straight while I'm gluing them down. All right, so you see me, I chopped off the ends of the chopsticks. That's why I didn't color them all in. And now I have Smitty's ABCs and the little banner from the Heart Garland Backdrop Portrait die set. And I've already placed the letters that I wanted for the first part of my sentiment onto my stamp positioner because they're super finicky. They stick to your hands, they stick to your tools. I love them, they're awesome, but they're kind of finicky to work with. So that's a little unfortunate. But I just want to stamp "You're All That" and onto my card. Now, one thing I will say is the original banner die cut was not long enough for my full sentiment, so I did have to extend it a little bit with partial die cutting. And so I'm just cutting the end off. I didn't want everything completely centered on the card because I just don't feel like that would look very good. So now that that's cut out and everything, I can add the last bit of my sentiment, which is dim sum. These are cut out from Henry's ABCs dies, and I'm just inking them up with that same vintage photo ink. I'm doing it fairly dark just to give some amount of contrast from the background. I didn't show the actual die set because I couldn't find the package, but these were all things that I had already had cut out. So once everything was glued together, that was the completion of this card. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye!